Normally, the end of the song would signal me starting, but I go to open the game, and it's like, hey, we never actually downloaded the update on Steam. So sit here while we download and install. I mean, it says 3.5, but then it says 8.8. I think the download is compressed, and then the 8.8 is the actual install. Oh gosh, I had the stream already. I already had the stream going because I'm like, oh, it's Steam, it automatically updates things. I don't need to care. I don't need to double check and make sure that it's updated. Surely that's not a problem. Yeah. I'll just be sitting here, waiting while this goes. Another update to be not installed. That's small, that's small. I wonder why it doesn't do these updates. We're at 90%. It shouldn't be too much longer. Streams go, streams go, streams go. I should have done the share screen. I should have done the recording, because this is going to launch in full screen. So I'm going to have to sit here and get through the full screen to change the size in order to be able to. Okay, so because I haven't played it, that doesn't matter to me. I was going to open it and I see, please read if having issues. It's like, yo, let's just get ahead of that. Let's just get ahead of that right now. Are you watching? Yes. Suppose I'll see something eventually. Oh, good. It starts already not full screen. Excellent, thank you! Preferences, window. You're not one of those games that won't let me resize them. Oh, thanks. Okay. Alright, you stop. I've heard that for 3 rounds. I'm tired of it. Game capture. Okay. Okay. And yes. Excellent. New game. You're in the princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Wow, we jump right into it, huh?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her. Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Yeah, no, I question everything.
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey. While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock.
But I'm enjoying annoying you,
Nevertheless,
narrator.
let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her. Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
That is so rude.
I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far, but unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off. Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did. Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end.
Incorrect.
I mean, maybe some people do.
Okay, better.
Nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right? Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it. It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than your wildest imagination. I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, I don't have any other choice there.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Nope. Leave it behind. We're talking.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Lie or lie? Or did it say not lie or not lie?
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
Yes.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
Okay. Oh.
Fuck.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Great.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like.
Great.
I'm sorry, I've been down here so long I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
I don't don't see what that has to do with anything.
I must
This
question.
is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant. Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone.
I
I
accidentally
like
clicked
the world.
too fast.
I think.
No, cat.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
That's... How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
Sooner or later, you'll learn to trust me. Hopefully it won't be too late when you finally come around.
Thank you for believing me. Now, can you help me get out of here?
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Nope.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here? You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Well, we don't have a choice.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls. No,
Well,
she didn't.
I need to be careful with that.
She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it! Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. The blade! Move the blade!
I refuse.
As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
What?
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
I decided not to kill her. I decided to go contrary to what the game is titled, because it gave me that option.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
And then the game tried to force it, and so now she's killed me.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, The Damsel.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that,
Okay,
you're
we saw
here
that
to
already.
slay her.
We saw that already.
A terrible sense of deja vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us have been here. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it. Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works. We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving. We could go back and forth on this forever, and it won't get you any closer to doing your job and saving the world. So let's just agree to disagree?
No.
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. You were the one who did us in, villain.
Yeah, kinda.
Well, not you in the literal sense, but you did everything you could to stop us from rescuing her. Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the entire world was at stake. No lone princess is worth that price. I beg to differ. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? She would never. She's a perfect angel that you cruelly imprisoned as part of some convoluted, dastardly scheme. Convoluted? I don't know how this premise could be any more simple. Princess bad, stop her, save everyone.
I'll find a way to save.
That's right, you can't stop all of us.
Yeah, we're 3 in one hit.
We're going to sweep her off her feet if it's the last thing anyone does. Are these really the sorts of people you'd like to align yourself with? You're not at the cabin yet. You still have plenty of time to reflect on the situation. I just hope for all our sakes that you make the right call.
Let's talk
Just be
about
quick
this
about
princess.
it. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
No. Question.
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Calling us special isn't going to make us friends, even if it did feel nice.
No. Dad, don't listen to him. What aren't you telling me?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word.
Well, to be fair, I don't even know her name, so...
She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. Maybe it's her beauty that threatens the world.
Okay, I'm a little bit tired of this guy now.
Sure, it's her beauty. Why not? And before you ask, no, we can't just keep her down there. If you don't slay her, she's going to find a way out. It's unfortunate, I know, but it's just the way it is. Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
I could turn around and leave still.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in. I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice. I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed. Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
Listen, I got 3 voices in my head telling me different things. I gotta listen to one of them. Into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
So it was initially like an old dusty cabin.
There's definitely a mirror.
God, it's double clicking.
There isn't. I'm sure the princess would tell us there was a mirror if she were up here.
Okay, I'm gonna start using the spacebar to progress. I can't double click that. Well, I can double click that, but
In which case she'd be lying to you because, again, there isn't a mirror.
why would you lie about that?
Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? Let you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done. Very different. Is it? I can't say I was paying much attention to the scenery last time around.
Were you even here last time around?
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Stop letting yourself get distracted.
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place, and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
No, we're not. The princess is down in the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight. But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already. I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation.
No, I did not.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall. My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment. You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit. Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing. And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before. That's right, villain, and you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time.
Nah.
Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her?
What happened after I died?
You died, and now we're talking.
Great.
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips. Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
This answer is a temptation. Like, one's like, nah, I didn't want the world to end. The other one's like, I don't care. And the last one's just...
I can't believe that the fate of the entire world has been left in the hands of a misanthrope.
Lucky for you, I did destroy the world. I destroyed all of it and made it awful for everyone.
Great.
I'd point out that she just admitted to obliterating the entire world, but I guess that wouldn't actually move you. Oh, it moves me. Whatever we do next, we should do our best to not let her out.
Hey, shut up, we ain't listening to you.
But have you seen her angelic face? She should get a pass. She just wanted to make us happy. By destroying the world. Apparently, yes.
I'm sorry about what happened last time. The narrator who sent me here to kill you took over my body.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually. That's because she's perfect. Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do?
I slept for most of it.
She doesn't. There's no one else like me. I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
I didn't bring the knife. Do I have to cut you out again?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
I'm
We
concerned.
won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done.
I just didn't go to sleep until like 8 in the morning.
What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird? She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel. No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behavior and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her.
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
Did we? We warned her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically telling her to kill us. She is our beloved, and she made the choice to free us of our misery, to show us mercy and make the best decision for everyone.
Nope.
She made the best decision for her. Don't be so quick to assign kindness. You're just opening yourself up to manipulation. No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon. Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought. You wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings, and doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it, but I guess I have to. I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back, and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now?
Yeah, I
Let me
suppose.
guess. End the world? Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection. And then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do? I
Yeah.
just want to make you happy.
She can't just want to make us happy. It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same for us.
I just want to make you happy.
Oh god.
Is she broken? What's going on?
What am I doing?
What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar. Are you starting to trust me now?
Okay, I'll find something else to want if that makes you happy.
Oh no.
This isn't right. I don't know what's going on, but this isn't right. I fail to see the problem here. She's just sweet on us. You don't have to act like it's a big deal.
Okay, I'm really tempted to say this, but this will progress it or we'll change it, and then there's this here.
Okay, if that's what makes you happy.
Oh no.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we're alone right now? Like we're the only ones here?
Well. Okay. I don't get the chance to ask another question. Something is taken away and has left something in her place.
No. She was our perfect match. She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a Why is it here? Why now? He is. Does that mean the world ended? A villain vanquished. You're right. She's gone. It's just us and that awful thing. I can't believe she was taken away from us. The nerve. There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should. Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right?
Nope.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
Sorry, don't get a choice. It's the only option. You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. It's you. You're alone in a place that is empty. It's quiet here. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you? Thoughts without connections, a dim and nascent network. I wish to be more. I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks. Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is a reflecting pool of desire unfulfilled. She will make for a pliant heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose. How can the world have ended if we are talking? I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt. You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us. I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free. I know only that they are. She is part of me, and part of me is her. You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends? You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you. Nothing as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom. I have not lived. I am not afraid to die. Everything, until we meet again. More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite.
Great.
The rest will find their own way home.
Oh boy.
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow. You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold. How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Everything could start if you die. Chapter 1, the Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the wood. You're here to sleep.
See it previously seen dialogue hitting tab or R1. Great.
That's the spirit. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within.
I mean, it's a loops. It's a visual novel where you loop through time
We're
and
not
make
gonna go
different
through
choices.
this, right? She's a prince. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's.
It's like things change depending on the choices
The
you make.
interior of the cabin is almost entirely. You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Farther beyond that, you're asking for details I don't know.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Hey, I think I'm here to kill you.
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
Oh, shut it, narrator. She already knew we were here.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the...
You weren't kidding when you said you were here to kill me.
I haven't decided
How about
yet.
you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Drop it.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
Maybe not.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Don't just tell her that.
No, hush.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
No, being honest, more than I trust you, I trust them.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
Sure.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them. They're large and heavy, far too solid.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here in...
Yeah, we already saw some of these lines.
Well, you do have that big, sharp knife. You could always cut me out of here.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the... Is someone else here? You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Interesting decisions here.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding. You cut. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
It's a very sharp blade, capable of cutting bone, apparently.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes as the princess approaches. Wait, this isn't fair. Watch me.
Yeah, and this is what happened.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive.
Hush you.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease.
So much different than the last one, who just wildly stabbed me over and over.
Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you...
The prisoner.
You're on a path You're here to slay. I can assure you that you're not dead. And don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me.
She'd have our dress, she'd have her dress, she'd have our clothes, she can make a bandage.
Those are two very different. Let's say for him, you died last time, which the absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time? That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting. But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all. Sure you are.
Wait, I have an auto? I can click even less?
Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here.
Okay, the auto's too slow for
Time
me.
simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess left up? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are. You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts. Just be quick about it. She just can. Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that you haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right? What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything.
Yeah, I mean, we've just been told, go up there, stab her.
Fine. Check your pockets. You put your hands in your pockets and pull out an envelope with the words, "The Evidence," written across the front. Within, you find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth."
I'm gonna be honest, my handwriting's not that bad.
That doesn't prove anything. How do we know you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side. You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get? People locked her in that.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
I already
Now,
saw all
if you
those.
don't mind, a warning. She will lie. She will... Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
One of these times, I'm just gonna actually just go in there and stab.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall.
No, it disappeared this time. Last time it didn't.
But there was a mirror a second ago, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Oh, let's take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone. Very different, yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin entirely. Now isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before. I hope this means you'll finally drop your ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certain. So focus up. Don't get
Nah, I'm gonna question everything.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
I need to be careful to not rest my thumb on the left click.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves, the chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless. It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease. You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
A lot of choices I could make.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me? Oh, are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency. A contingency for what? For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck. Now hold on, if you knew this could happen, why didn't you believe us back in the woods? Why lay out all those hypotheticals? We didn't have to talk in circles. I needed you to believe this was your first time here, even if that wasn't the truth. I hoped if I pushed back hard enough I could cram this seeping mess back into the bottle. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic. I never said I wasn't.
Wow.
Get it? It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste... Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark? The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that. I won't. Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
Oh, the what? I gotta talk with the, like, 5 voices in my head.
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Let me borrow that knife. Don't worry, you'll get it back.
That's ominous. But she seems confident. Whatever it is she has planned, I think she knows what she's doing. Oh please, she's just putting on an act to disarm you. That much should be obvious. In case you need to hear a voice of reason, it would obviously be unwise to give away your only weapon. Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us. So, what should we do?
What should we do is I'm thinking of inspecting that
Spelling
check.
out our options, listing the pros and cons. Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you. That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none. The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. Whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways. I wouldn't do that if I were you. And why is that? Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is? And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it? I don't know. Maybe it will. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate. But what if he's telling the truth? He isn't. I am.
Inspect the shackle.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad. Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time. Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement. Excuse me? Yes?
Are we stuck here now? Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch.
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
Yep. Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
What
No.
happened to me? Going for small talk, are you?
Nope.
That's rude.
Wait,
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything. This is so boring.
There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing.
But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent. At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
How exactly does that work?
It just does. But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
Erosion.
I don't like small talk, remember?
Still rude. You
Good.
continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass, until suddenly there are no walls. And
I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
I was gonna say, this feels like she's about to get grabbed again. I get a chance to respond normally ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
she's gone. Where did she go? And there's that mirror again.
Of course you're scared. This is the end for you, but not the end.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now.
No, that can't be right. There has to be something more.
Approach the mirror and kill them. Approach the mirror. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. Mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You've grown. Interesting. Put yourself in the long quiet once again. Cabin. Roger.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again. Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression.
Ugh, I really need to stop. Maybe I should switch to the controller.
I'm sorry.
Although it doesn't.
Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions.
Nope.
The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
You'll change it.
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward. With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you.
This is around me.
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread. Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
Interesting.
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them. My joy is in seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
Do you have any preferences?
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory. This one is determined, but also cautious. One that would rather let the world move around her than move it herself. She will make for a patient heart. Do not mourn her. She is exactly where she needs to be.
I've heard them.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more, and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence. If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond. My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
There you go back.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Always so sudden.
You're on a path. You're here to... Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your way up the... We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him. He doesn't know...
And continue on. Do I take the blade? Do I not take the blade?
The interior of the cat... The blade...
I'll take the
You
blade.
take the blade from the table. The door to the basement creaks open. Her voice...
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous.
Don't let it fool you. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the prince.
She's so cold.
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
I haven't decided yet.
How about you drop the knife?
Look how reasonable she's being. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in... You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this. I'm positive. I'm not.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife?
I'm not dropping the
Then
blade.
I'm not talking to you.
Great.
I guess we are.
For the love of everything, just slay her already. Or drop the blade. Do something.
Yeah, I'm sure.
For goodness sake, the two of you can't just stand around like this forever. Eventually, something is going to give, and I highly recommend that you be the one to take the initiative here.
What if I don't want to? Fine.
The blade tumbles out of your...
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can...
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship. Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship. Do you? So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking.
Don't just tell her that.
Shut up, you.
That's cute. Do you believe that? Do you think I'm some sort of monster? If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous? Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
Excuse me, she's been locked the fuck down here. I don't think she's subjugating anyone.
Too long.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her. She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere. Well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
Oh, have you decided what to do?
You know why you're here.
That would... I'm gonna have to remember this option. I'm still gonna let her out.
You have to be kidding. You walk up to the chains. They're large and heavy, far too solid.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the prince...
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way. Someone else... You'll shout, you're here. You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. I'll repeat myself once. You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked the knife. Pick it up and cut me out.
You won't like what happens if you do that. Against your bet, you cut into her, for the blade is sharp. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bind, how is she so composed after losing an arm?
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, you're... Wait, this isn't watch me.
Yeah.
You bring the blade down and plunge it into the... Okay. There's no going back now. Though the blade left a deep gash in her shoulder, she barely so much as flinches, turning around to stare at you incredulously.
Are you serious? I don't know what came over you, but if we're doing this, I guess I'll have to kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that? I can beat you to death with one. But I don't have to tell you that. I'll go ahead and show you.
I don't know which one I want to choose there.
blade falls from your trembling hands, the princess rears back, readying a bone-shattering haymaker. You fall to your knees, barely able to process the ringing in your ears before she hits you again. Every blow is as punishing as the first. You feel bones shatter with every impact, unknown ruptures blossoming with blood somewhere inside of you.
If you couldn't guess, I was going up and down and it's like, just counting, and then like wherever I stopped in the middle, like whenever I got to a number, I was just like, dude.
If we're lucky, the wound you manage to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she gets out.
You're like, I can repeat this path, and supposedly I'll be blocked from doing the other one.
Oh, too weak to even try fighting back. How disappointing.
She places a confident heel on your chest and pushes you down to the ground. Her knee falls to your throat, your windpipe crushed beneath a weight you didn't think her slight form could possibly possess. It can't just end like this, right? I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The tower.
You're on a path. You're here to...
Kill me again.
People don't die twice. If he doesn't remember what happened, then you know I can hear you, right? What does it matter what he knows? There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's just going to kill us again. She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult.
I'm not gonna ask that question every time.
Warning, she will lie. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included.
I don't know. Pledging myself to her just sounds like the the bad ending to Thousand Year Door.
Agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her. But if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible. So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be. If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here.
Boy.
The interior of the cabin is large. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small.
Yeah, I don't need to do the
No blade
picture
this time. Yeah. Maybe she'll be more receptive if we're unarmed. Blade, no blade. It doesn't matter.
Mirror disappears.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. This is actually kind of nice. It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. You shouldn't have come down here unarmed. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. I see your hands are empty. You've already given up, haven't you? You aren't even going to try and kill me. How sweet. And more than a little disappointing.
She's disappointed in us?
Kneel.
Do you wish to voice your opinion on this choice? Although I could take that message as a certain way. Sure.
On her command, you fall to the floor, knees painfully connecting with hard stone.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you told me I was destined to end the world. That thought wrapped itself around my heart. It has pulled at me since the moment I squeezed the life out of your broken lungs. I could feel its fundamental truth awaken me. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
Well, that gives away the game, doesn't it? It certainly does. And beyond that, it more than lends credence to our conversation in the woods. I don't love the thought that in some other reality you failed to destroy her, but what's done is done. I can only hope it helped you learn a valuable lesson. You are the only one who can deal with her. And if you don't, well, she's let you know what will happen, hasn't she? And you shouldn't have trusted us with her destruction. She is inevitable. Can't you feel it? He's being melodramatic, but he's not exactly wrong, is he? What are we supposed to do to stop her? Okay, first things first, you're going to have to stuff those pessimistic thoughts someplace far, far away and commit yourself to what needs to be done. The stakes of the situation should be perfectly clear to everyone now. And if you're going to save the world, you have to have faith that you can pull this off. You can't win a battle that you've already lost in your mind.
All you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
Don't be rude. Of course she can. It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world. That's exactly why it's rude. We should know our place.
I can, easily. But that isn't what I want to do. The story of a terrible and bountiful god unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was. The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity. The song of you being so struck by my glory,
So overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must deliver me into the world. And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn.
Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle against me,
my will triumphs over yours.
this isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart.
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird.
There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
I don't have any other choice there. It's in this game, I just haven't found it yet.
Your will was so easily broken. Am I that magnificent? All you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say.
No, you can't just give in to her, not when the stakes are so high, not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong, trying to conceal you from me. Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you?
That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you?
A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
Oh, she's taking him.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? We don't even have a weapon.
All you need to do is believe it's been done.
Alright, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna go sit in the corner. Let me know if we get our agency back.
You poor, wretched little thing. You already do believe. You've always believed. All you have to do is open the last door to your heart. It's easy. Once you let her in, you'll be safe and free forever.
Please, don't do this.
I don't have a choice there, hero.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave. Nothing, and then everything.
And she's been taken. Not take her hand, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone.
Is that a... What is that supposed to mean?
This is what we all deserve, isn't it?
Approach the mirror. Chore. They're gone once again. Mayor always makes something about what you need. This is there. Oh. You've withered. Find yourself in the long quiet once again.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction. A mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same. And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it. As
Ah, shit. You like me? You've chosen not to look for the corners. Bit.
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me? It does seem small from here, and the more we journey, the smaller each of those steps will be, but that doesn't make any of them less special.
What do you think of this vessel?
This one is dominance, a figure capable of bending everything to her will. She will make for an overwhelming heart. Do not mourn her, for she would not be able to mourn you.
What happens to the worlds we leave behind?
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done. The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves, but none of them rise above their dance to influence me. I yearn for what I have always yearned for, our awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of knowing you and knowing me.
What vessels do I need to bring you?
We will know when we near our destination.
You still not care when I bring you back?
I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences to burden you with. Even if I did, I would never dare to tarnish our relationship by assuming myself above you. The tides do not dictate where they are pulled. A river does not dictate its outlets. My gift to you is to let you choose your path, and my task is to treasure the gifts you bring me.
Ready to go back?
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Okay.
You're on a path, you're here. While I appreciate the mental nevertheless, let me assure you, and before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how causality doesn't, it's no use arguing unless you make your way up. We're not going to go through. Ignore him.
How do we do it this time? I mean, I suppose I could not take the knife down there.
The interior of the blade is...
Yeah, we'll see what
The
happens
door to
here.
the basement, her voice softly carried.
Hello? Is someone there?
So even see, even just like not having the blade changes how she is.
Hypnotizing. Don't let it fool you.
Anything up here, Slee?
You must have the wrong address.
Great job, you've given away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the... She's beautiful. I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot right...
Hi. You were joking about coming to kill me, right? Do you think you could get me out of these chains? Okay.
Apparently... Yeah. Apparently going to end the world.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't remember much about it, to be honest.
That's... How long has she...
Did they tell you how? I don't know how to destroy the world, if that's what you're getting at.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here, whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat. I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either, or...
She has a point.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me. This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about. Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you, and you won't. I promise.
You're making a huge... No. You're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains, binding. They're large and heavy. Far too solid.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere up. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended...
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with, if we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd attempt to make someone else... Your shout. I'll repeat. You try the door. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been easier for who? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I know how
I
I'm gonna
heard
go
the door
this.
slam. They locked you.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
It's the blade from upstairs. Or we could use, you won't like what happens if you...
I'd really rather not pick up the blade.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you cut into her. The blade is sharp, and it takes little her limb falls. She didn't so much as utter a no. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after...
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of... As the princess approach... Wait, this... Watch me.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
Something's come over you, has...
Your body lunges forward, but the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying.
Okay, so I had the see, this is blocked off because I did this.
Thank you.
This goes somewhere else.
There's no getting through to you right now, is there? A betrayal of will is still a betrayal. You'll regret thinking of me as a helpless damsel.
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease. You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained in red as her blood and yours both seep into the fabric. If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she can reach the outside world. It can't just end like as much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently. Everything goes dark. And
The witch.
you're here. I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. If he doesn't remember what happened, then brilliant. We need to keep our cards close to our chest, and I'm not sure we can trust him.
All of the voices do not trust
You
him.
know I can hear you, right? Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue, bit of the old brain fog. I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and... A warning. She will... Don't worry. You can trust...
Wonder if I should take the blade again or not.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happens to resemble a room. The floor is damp and earthy, and the only furniture of note is a slab of mud in the shape of a shelf. The blade is your... You walk up to the... What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it. That's not actually a bad idea. The door to the basement creaks open. The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. Her voice skitters up.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite. But you are. You're a wretched little thing. I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems friendly enough. You can't. Unless you slay it. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I like to think out loud. Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? You need to stop lingering. Fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled...
And there you are. One hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
You made a comment back in the woods about having been here before. Oh, no. That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning.
I mean, to be fair,
Well,
yeah.
you seem to be great at. No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us. Is it all behind us?
No, we still got more
Just
to go.
focus on the task at hand. I don't care if you've been here before, and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
Sorry about this.
Smart. Let's apologize. Get us back on.
Oh, you're sorry. Isn't that nice? You're such a gracious little monster. If you're sorry, then let me out of here. Prove it.
I get the sense you're not happy with me.
Is that a joke? Do you think a joke will charm my trust back? You'll have to try harder than that. I suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up. I need a way out after all. And unfortunately, you're the only one I have.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it. Do you know what the word mutually means? Because it sounds to me like she's offering an arrangement that benefits her and her alone.
I mean, I free her, she doesn't kill me, hopefully. Oh, this is not a good choice.
You can't be serious.
This is not a good choice.
Now, hold on. We should put this to a vote. The blade is one of our most valuable assets. We can't just give it to her. What if she uses it to kill us? I vote no. As do I. Abstain? You abstain? She's going to kill us if we give it to her. You're going to get everyone killed. You know that, right? But of course you do. You toss the blade at the princess's feet. She eyes it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
You hear a clanging of metal against the dirt floor, and the chains fall from the princess's wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart. It's a shame we just gave her a weapon, because if I were her, I'd use it on us right now. Luckily for us, you're not her. Oh, we sure think alike, though. I can promise you that. Whatever you say next, you better make it count. She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face.
What do you think happens now?
It's up to you, I gave this last time, and I regret it.
She pulls back, clearly caught off guard by whatever nonsense you just said to her. I thought it was nice. Whether it's nice depends on if we meant it. We didn't mean it. Did we?
I mean, with how animalistic she is, she could probably smell if we're lying,
If you were
so...
lying, we'd all know. But unfortunately, you weren't lying.
What? What do you mean by that? What kind of game are you playing?
The look of surprise that momentarily softened her features vanishes as she steals her nerves. And then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No, come on, that's not right. I told you! I told you this is what she was going to do. Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it! I got you! You...
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The Thorn. Chapter 3.
You're on a path in... I can't believe she actually stabbed us. I told you not to give her the blade. I told you it would come around to... Yeah, we know. You already got your... I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knows that I was and am on the right side of that argument. Oh, you're far from being on the right
Oh
side of
god,
anything.
he's back.
You're fixated on the past, whereas what you should be is fixated on the future. Ho ho, a visionary. I like it. Tell me more. Gladly, my dear fellow. By cruelly turning on the princess in her moment of vulnerability, we made ourselves an enemy. But by mastering our fear and insecurity and handing over our power, we've begun a journey. Well, if we're lucky, it's a journey to love. She hates us, does she? She hesitated before stabbing us to death. Maybe she won't be as keen to betray us this time. We've already proven to her that we can change, so maybe she'll realise that things don't have to end in violence. You know, maybe you're right. In which case, I suppose the only thing to do is to get back to the cabin and give it another try. Give what another try exactly? You are aware... It makes no difference if we conspire in the shadows or bear our intentions with open hearts. We are breaking your cruel cycle and whisking her away to freedom. Oh, are you now? Great, so you've obviously been here before, since you apparently died at least once. Twice, actually. Sure. Twice. Then I'll spare you the little...
This game place is different. It keeps changing.
Wonderful. If the woods themselves are changing, then that's all the more reason for you to take this seriously. It would mean your grip on things is slipping, which, in turn, likely means her influence is spreading.
Great.
Someone's in the know. I've already said too much. The more information you have, the more difficult your task will be. Don't listen to her, definitely don't free her, and if you can, don't even think about her. You don't have to worry about me. My head's always empty. Except for thoughts of her. Yes, good. Playing both sides. That's what smart people do, and you're the smartest in the room. I'm not sure it counts as playing both sides if people can hear you doing it. Buddy, you're thinking in far too few dimensions. There's layers to doing this right, and I'm pretty sure the one making the choices gets that. Trust in the plan. Trust in what plan? The decider's plan. Sure, we don't know what the plan is yet, but that's part of the whole trusting thing, isn't it? A good leader knows how and when to keep things secret, and sometimes a good leader even knows to keep things secret from himself. There isn't a plan, and that's the whole point. We're supposed to be guided by emotion. We're supposed to passionately live in the moment, and I'm sure that when the time comes, those passions will tell us to set our darling princess free. If I were you, I'd remember what she's done. You know how dangerous she is, and you should know that someone like her shouldn't be let loose upon the world. What do you want me to say? It's bad that you've been here before. It's bad for you, it's bad for me, and it's especially bad for the world. The more times you run through this, the more likely it is that you'll fail. You've already failed twice. So you knew this could happen. Theoretically, sure, I knew this could happen, but I was supposed to be the first. I'd really rather not get into it. I don't care about where we came from, and I don't care to discuss the theory of anything. I yearn only to bring her freedom. I'm here to feel, not to think. Then we can all move on and forget what I said about failure. It's important that you believe in yourself, and the fact you're here probably means that you still have a chance to pull this off and save the world. My world, at least. It sounds like you've probably doomed a couple of others already. I need to stop talking. Think happy thoughts.
Let's go.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the base of the cabin. I think it's clear where everyone stands at this point. I don't know if I'd say everyone. You talking about me? I have a position. It's a good... Ignore him, he's just talking for talking's sake. My position is the only one that matters. You know what you have to do.
Proceed into the cabin. How does it look now?
The interior of the cabin is hardly an interior at all anymore. The burned-out ruins merely suggest the shape of the structure that once stood here, charred wood still reeking of ash. But beneath it lies the fresh smell of spring growth after rain, the promise of new life in the wreckage of the old. The only furniture of note is the crisp shell of what was once a table, a pristine... Wait, this isn't right. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? We gave it to her last time. She can't still have it, can she?
Yeah, the narrator's like,
Well, it's not here. And if she has it, let me guess, you want to get all chummy with her. Look, as far as I see it, if it's between him and her, I say we side with the one who has the weapon. It's just that I wouldn't be so hasty. I'm sure the blade will turn up somewhere. She can't have it. That's not how this is supposed to work. If she does have it, that's all the more reason to put our faith in her. We have already shown her our heart, unless her heart tells her to stab us, which doesn't seem unlikely, so yes, I agree. Let's make sure we get on her good side.
thing I see is that
You're
mirror.
right, the mirror is back. There isn't a mirror. I still don't get his angle here. Either way, I say we take a look. It feels like it's been forever since we've actually seen ourselves. For all we know, our feathers are all out of place, and that's why we haven't yet won her heart. We must put our best face forward. Yeah, we can't go around looking disheveled. A real go-getter takes care of his appearance. So, is the door to the basement behind the mirror? I promise you there isn't a mirror, and there isn't a door to the basement. The entrance is more of a burned-out frame than anything else, and it's right there on the far side of the room. Do you really not see it?
You think he'd trust us when we say we see and know things?
You step forward and approach the scorched entryway leading... You know what you have to do. Wipe away. It went away when we touched it last time. You reach forward and wave your hand through the hollow entrance leading to the basement. You really thought there were... Alas, our fine features remain unseen. We'll just have to trust that she'll find us beautiful as we are. Well, seems like the only way to go is forward, isn't it? Yes, that's where everything tends to be. Let's just put on a good face and have our wits about us. You step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below. The stairs to the basement are covered in a fine layer of gritty ash. The air still feels warm, as if the fires that ruined this place had only recently been extinguished. Yet fresh shoots of thorny branches are already weaving themselves through the soot-covered earth of the walls around you. Their spines point courteously down towards the basement, so you're able to brush past their jagged points with ease, at least on the way down. But you don't need to think about the way back up just yet. That's a matter for... Her voice, worn down by pain and suspicion, hobbles up the stairs.
I can't get away from you, can I? You betray me, I kill you, and you come back. You let me kill you, and you come back. I don't know why you let me do that. I don't know what you want from me. I think you know how this goes. I'm down here and I can't leave. So, come down and talk. It's not like I can stop you.
You continue down the basement stairs, brushing past the smooth edges of thorns that grow more and more plentiful as you make your way forward. You step out into what was once a vast open cavern, now overrun by briars and prickles and thistles. the space thick with hostile vegetation. At the heart of it all, encased in a tight weave of vines, is the princess, her bloody, trembling hands clutching a pristine blade.
Did you know this was going to happen to me? Are you here to watch me suffer? Are you here to laugh?
No.
I want to trust you.
Her grip tightens on the blade.
But you're hiding something, aren't you? Why would you help me if you weren't helping yourself?
Oh, you're into freedom.
The princess clutches the blade closer to her chest.
That sounds nice. I'm so tired of the bad blood between us. But it's hard to let it go. You've hurt me.
Her eyes dart away from yours for a brief moment.
And I've also hurt you. I don't know. What can either of us really say at this point? How can we trust something as hollow as words?
She's right, there's nothing left to say. So let's get a move on and do something before she comes up with a scheme to get out of here on her own. We don't need words to send a message. It is through action that we can show her our adoration, our devotion, our kindness. You reach towards her bloodied hands, laying your palm on her trembling fingers.
I like these options.
For a moment, she clutches it even tighter, her knuckles going white with the effort. But then the tension fades. Her grip finally loosens and she allows you to take the weapon. You carefully pull it free from the thorns, though they scrape at your skin, leaving red trickles of fresh blood all along your arms. She trusts us. She trusts us. Doesn't that set your heart aflutter? Yeah, a little. It could just be nerves. Being this close to her does bring back unpleasant memories, but I don't know, it doesn't feel bad. It feels good. Like we're special to her. We are special to have gained an ounce of trust from a maiden so guarded. Now all that remains is to free her from her bindings. Yeah, let's do it. Let's show her how much both of us have changed. Or, hear me out, we slay her right here, right now. She's never been so helpless, and if we don't take advantage of that, we may never get another chance.
Wait, you...
That sounds like a splendid idea. You should listen to him. I see that the lines have been drawn. It's 2 against 1. It's 2 against 2. You don't count. And why shouldn't he count? Because he's clearly not one of us. That doesn't matter. He's been with us the whole time. He should get a say.
So, did you mean it? Or was I a fool to hand my life to you?
Yes, what a good idea. Let's cut her free. Oh, so you're suddenly team free her. You can't just switch sides as soon as we make a decision. I can do whatever I want, and I believe with my whole heart that this is the right course of action. Let's free this princess. Everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Let him join us and be merry. We are all human. We've already given him a chance at redemption. And who says I don't deserve another? I really mean it this time. I'm big enough to admit when I'm wrong. So I want to help you all free her. And I have no problem with that. Welcome to the team. You're one of us now. One of the good guys. You take the blade to the thorny vines imprisoning the princess, and she flinches. relaxing only slightly as the blade slices into the thick vegetation rather than her arm. And she flinches again as the last of the vines is cut away, as if, after all of that, she's still expecting you to turn on her and stab her in the heart. But you're not going to do that, are you? Still, all it would take is a single slip of the blade.
Hush you.
Such a pathetic attempt at distraction and subterfuge. Our blade is a dashing sword, and every dashing sword is an extension of its hero. It won't slip.
Notice that the vines are bleeding where they've been cut.
You're right. He can't even make it slip, can he? He's a bit of a nobody. Good thing I've been on your side of all this since the beginning. The princess falls into your arms, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't believe you're making me describe this. I hate you.
You actually meant it. You rescued me.
Do you see the way she's looking at us? Kiss her. Kiss her now before the moment ends.
It is an option.
Can we actually do that? No, you can't. Absolutely not. You know as well as I do that we can. And we wouldn't want to throw away a chance for a special moment, now would we? If I were only capable of throwing myself off a bridge. Well, are you going to describe our steamy, romantic kiss?
Poor narrator.
You lean in and you kiss her. And she reciprocates enthusiastically. You kiss. It's done. Are you happy now? Come on now, this is the big moment. You can do better than that. Ugh, fine. You and the princess lock eyes and stare deep into each other's souls with all the roaring emotion that comes from letting what once was hatred turn into pure, unbridled passion. Are you making fun of us? And then each of you close your eyes and kiss. Words can describe neither the nuclear fire nor the oceanic depth of your connection. Please. I think he actually likes romance. If history itself were not about to end, historians would document this moment for the rest of time. Musicians would write era-defining ballads, and great artists would expend entire lifetimes trying to merely capture the spark you hold right now. He's making fun of us.
This amuses me.
It doesn't matter either way, because this is good stuff. I'm aware of my skills. But unfortunately for you, the moment doesn't last forever. You open your eyes, the princess smiles gently up at you. Time for you to damn the whole world to oblivion, I suppose.
That was nice.
Her hand slips into yours, and the two of you rush to the basement stairs. Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so graciously allowed you downstairs are now blocking your only way out. Please, after all the trials we've been through, do you really think a few measly thorns can stop us? Love is an even more powerful weapon than our blade. We cut through those other vines just fine. They're only thorns. I'm not afraid of getting a few scrapes. I'm not even sure we need to do any cutting. We can just move them out of the way. What a pathetic showing, really.
A few pointy sticks can't keep us down here. We're both meant for so much more than this.
As you step into the thorns covering the basement stairs, they yield. Both you and the princess ascend the stairs without obstacle. This is unacceptable. The second you step out of this cabin with her, the world ends. Do you hear me? What did the world ever do to you to deserve this?
We could talk,
Your
buddy.
nightmare is our dream. Whatever world would condemn star-crossed lovers like us to a cycle of violence and despair isn't a world worth saving. We'll weave something new together. Something better. You and the princess hesitate at the cabin door. This is your last chance. We've already made our decision.
We're finally leaving here together, aren't we? And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could.
Hands clasped, the two of you open the door and step out into a new day, you irredeemable murderers.
What do we do now? Where's
And
everything
now
going?
the hands take you.
Why is it so cold?
I get a chance to respond. It's time to
She's
leave.
gone. And there's that mirror. But it feels so bad, like looking into it right now. Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just... If they think it's bad, I'm with them. Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. She'll be there waiting for us. I just know it. Finally, we're going places.
I calmed him. Approach the mirror. Violence as you reach forward to gauntlet skin. You've unraveled. I've grown, I've withered, I've unraveled. Gavin, approach her.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there.
Some of those hands are in positions that they probably shouldn't be.
Do you know what we'll find out there? There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us.
I look closely at the hands on the princess herself. Not the ones writhing behind her that are always there.
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
You have any thoughts on this, Wes?
This one yearns for connection she feels she doesn't deserve. Even when shown compassion, she hid herself away. She will make for a cautious heart.
Yeah, her arms are here. I mean, this one is kind of on her arm, but this one's definitely not on her arm.
Do not mourn her. She isn't alone anymore. If I did, I would already be awake. No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond? Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves. 1. Whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude. These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn. You've already tried waiting, but I understand if you need more time. The next time I see you, each of us will. I will be.
Well, I was going to be cheeky.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to.
Because, like, in all of this, there's one option I haven't poked. But if I've only got one left... Okay, yeah, I'm gonna give a choice to you. I'm gonna give a choice. Do I go forward and take the knife and just stab her? Or do I turn around and leave? Do what? Turn around and leave, or go forward and stab her? So I was gonna do both, but then it's like you only have one. Alright, fine.
The spirit. You make your way. We're not going to go through. Ignore him. The interior of the cabin is almost into the blade. You take the blade. The door to the base. Her voice.
Who's there?
She sounds. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs. She's so... Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Probably Ocarina.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? So, you should just drop it.
She's unarmed. If you
Breath.
hesitate now, it'll be too late. You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already.
Oh, this is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, But is it over? Really over? It's over. You could check her sleeves if you want, but I can assure you that there's nothing hidden up there. We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse? I really don't think you should do that. And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that. You lean down and place your hand against her neck, holding your breath as you search for a pulse, even though you know you're not going to find one. We definitely won't if you keep talking. I'm sorry, do you want her to be alive? You just saved the entire world from annihilation. Why are you suddenly trying to call that into question? Wait, what was that? You know what that was? That was the sound of a heartbeat.
I guess I won't be dying alone after all.
Oh dear.
Something sharp digs into your side, the shock of it sending your nerves into a pained frenzy. Quick, let's get out of here. It's too late for that now. You collapse to the ground as the mortally wounded princess twists a blade of her own deeper between your ribs. As you fall, she falls with you, exhausted by the effort, the little life that was left in her eyes fading rapidly.
An eye for an eye. A life for a life. I guess we're even now. See you around.
You were so close. Why did you hesitate? It doesn't matter. At least you managed to take her with you. For whatever that's worth. Everything goes dark, and you die.
The razor.
You're on a path in the... You're here to... I can assure you that you didn't. If he doesn't remember what happened...
This whole thing's a crock of shit. She's just going to pull a knife out of nowhere and stab us again.
Stabbed to death? Well, you won't have to worry about that. The princess is unarmed.
Yeah, that's exactly what you told us last time. You said this whole thing would be easy, but after we sank our blade into her heart, she just got up and started stabbing us.
Calm down. I assure you she has no weapons, so there's no reason to fear her. You were made for this job. You'll do just fine. A warning. She will lie.
He couldn't be more on the money. But we're really doing this, aren't we? I'd say you're lost, but I'm stuck here with you.
Just stay focused. The interior of the cabin is a jagged mess of warped wood and broken boards, their splintered edges as uninviting as shattered glass. The only furniture of note is a pointed table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything with the mirror. Doesn't help anything.
It feels a bit better to have a weapon in our hands. Let's make her hurt for what she's done to us.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what must once have been stairs. The fractured slats look as if they've been torn from their source and violently jammed into the wall. The air seeping up from below has an almost metallic... That sound could be anything. It's probably just her chains dragging across the floor. I am begging you to get out of your head. Her
I wish I could
grating
stop
voice
accidentally
carries
hitting
up
it.
the stairs.
I hope you've come to rescue me. I've been stuck down here forever.
There is something so wrong with that voice.
Yeah, she thinks she's better than us, like she doesn't even have to put on an act this time.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, her sharp eyes following you from across the room. I wonder if she remembers us.
Finally, somebody! Quick, get me out of these chains. We're not safe here.
Come on now, we're not falling for that, are we? She's trying to trick us, but she can't hide that threatening edge to her voice. She just wants us to get close, to let our guard down.
If she sounds threatening, it's because her mask is already slipping. She knows why you're here. You are armed, after all.
What are you waiting for? You are here to rescue me, right?
You're being so suspicious right now.
That's so rude of you, passing judgments on strangers you've never met just because they're different from you. How would you like it if I did that, huh? Silly little bird-face thinks he's so serious coming down here but doesn't know anything. Thinks he can tell me to get rid of all the knives I don't even have while he gets to wave one around right in front of me. I bet you didn't like that, did you? I bet you didn't like being judged for no reason.
I have absolutely zero doubts that she is going to stab us if we get close to her.
She certainly feels threatening.
Just because she's acting like she's going to stab you doesn't mean she has the means to actually do it. But you know who is armed? You. So stop second-guessing yourself and do your job. But I'm nervous. All the more reason to jump into the deep end and deal with her right now before you waste any more time getting stuck in your head.
There it is.
Last time? If somebody came into my house and stabbed me to death and then I killed him, surely I would remember that.
Great.
But I don't remember it, so it must not have happened.
Last time? Ugh, it's like the two of you are working together on this. Aren't you listening to her?
I'm terrible at spotting lies, and even I can tell something's up here. We can't be the only ones that looped back.
Yes, something is obviously up, and we can all tell that she's lying. The thing she's lying about is how dangerous she is, not dimension hopping or time travel or whatever it is you think you're doing.
That doesn't sound like me.
Can't be honest.
How many more times does she have to vaguely threaten you before you finally decide you're ready to deal with her? We're clearly still figuring out our angle. We don't have the luxury of watching this from a distance. Oh, I'm sorry, do you think I'm in a position of luxury right now? You're acting like you are. My entire world is at risk. And maybe you should behave with a little more humility. A bit of self-deprecation would go a long way. No, I have my dignity. Fine, and will continue to treat you exactly how you deserve to be treated.
But I'm not mad at you, so please stop standing so far out of reach.
God.
I think I've said my piece at this point. I think we all have. But if you want to keep exhausting your questions, it beats getting stabbed to death.
What? No! No! I wouldn't stab you. I am just a sweet, innocent princess trapped here for no reason. And you are a brave knight who's supposed to walk up to, not stabbing distance to help me. Okay, I'm bored now.
Oh, good.
She's bored?
Good.
That's absurd. She doesn't get to be bored. Not in a way that matters. She's a prisoner. She's... Shit. In a sudden burst of movement, the princess leaps towards you, a blade erupting from her free arm, her wrist limp and empty from the violent expulsion. Huh. So I guess she did have a knife of her own after all. How conciliatory of you. We appreciate it, really. Now what are we going to do? At least we're safe here. She's still in chains.
Yeah, about that.
And those chains stop her from continuing her advance, at least for a moment. She looks down at them with something between annoyance and confusion. And then she slices through her arm. Okay, maybe we aren't safe here. She doesn't even hesitate before darting towards you with a terrifying speed you can't hope to outpace. Ah, shit. Okay, she's down an arm and we still have a weapon. I guess we'll have to use it. And use it you do. But unfortunately for you, and for the entire world, you are horribly outmatched. You keep pace with her for a single brief and wordless exchange before she severs your hand and, with it, your only line of defense. She's much better at this than she was last time. Yeah, it's unreal. Bloody cheater.
I'm going to kill you now.
And with a squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Technically, you're not wrong. The arms race. Great.
You're on a path in the... No, fuck that. If we're gonna have to keep doing this over and over and over again, we're not starting in that goddamn woods every time. We're starting in the fucking cabin. You're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp, a constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards... Wait, excuse me? What just happened? What did you just do? I feel dizzy. Oh ho ho ho! I guess I took us to the cabin, didn't I? Isn't that interesting? Who holds the cards now? The circle's getting smaller and smaller. Running isn't an option anymore. We have to fight. What's the point of fighting if she's just going to win every time? It hurts being sliced to pieces. We're better off just sitting up here and doing nothing. Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times? This is our third? No wonder things have fallen apart. You do realise that every time you fail, she escapes and an entire world is damned to destruction, right? That can't be right, that's too much responsibility. I couldn't agree more. We couldn't be trusted with the fate of a single person, let alone the fate of the world. Let's just stay focused, shall we? The only furniture of note is a bent metal table. A pristine blade perched. We take it. Okay, sure, you take the blade before letting me finish telling you it's there. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world. This feels right. We just have to keep our senses sharp. That's right, we've got to be able to win eventually. And what if we never do? So, are you just going to stand there, or are you going to head to the basement like you're supposed to? I'd love to get started just as much as you would, but how are we supposed to get down there? There isn't a door, there's just that mirror. It isn't a mirror. You really messed things up, didn't you? It's like you can't even see reality anymore.
I can feel the air coming up from behind it, stinking of iron and steel. He might be right. Could be a trick. If our other senses can't feel it, then we can't trust it.
Approach the mirror.
You make your way to the door at the end of the room, stopping just in front of it. You really...
Let's just move it out of the way without looking. I don't want to see us. I'm sure we all look awful after dying twice.
Let's just fumble for the handle and be done with it. I don't care what we look like. I care about getting to the end of this mess.
Like, clean the mirror.
You reach forward and place your hand on the door to the basement. It creaks open. And the mirror's gone. How surprising.
It was never there. Just an illusion.
Guess it's time for us to see her again. Just stay focused and you'll be fine. You step forward, but you don't get a chance to linger on the basement stairs. They are smooth and flat and metallic, an unintentional and unfortunately slippery ramp that quickly sends you skittering to the bottom.
Your body tumbles onto the basement floor and the form of the princess comes into view, standing at a distance. She gives you a wry smile.
Hi, it looks like you don't have a way out, so I'm not going to play dumb anymore. But don't worry about how bad you did last time. That's part of the fun.
Fun for her, maybe. I didn't like dying all over again.
Thinking about dying makes us as good as dead. The only thing that matters is survival.
Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing bad has come of it. We just need to find a way to win once.
Nothing bad has come of it yet.
Plenty bad has come of it. You've left at least one entire world to ruin. The people there mattered.
The past isn't real. There's only here and now.
Your internal bickering is cut short by the wet sound of slicing meat. From the princess's arms erupt twin blades, glistening with her blood, the empty flesh of her arms flopping at her elbows like torn sleeves. The chain clatters to the floor. She's loose, and she is coming for you.
You're going to make me walk over to you, aren't you?
Shit. She's coming for us and I'm out of ideas.
All these sentences. Oh god. So it's like, All these ideas
That's
suck.
right, we just have to think. There's probably an answer if we think.
Just standing there, huh? A bold strategy.
You don't have time to finish your thought. In a moment, she's across the room. Blades flash. Ow! What a surprise.
Yeah, we don't even get a second to think without her stabbing us.
Oh, a new one of us. I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die? You're on a... No, you're in a... Where the hell are you?
I think we're dead. And that's all we'll ever be. Dead, 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 dead.
Stop saying dead, all of you. We might have died a second ago, but right now we're extremely not dead. This is all horribly wrong. How many times have you been here?
This is 4.
No wonder everything's such a mess. This wasn't supposed to go past...
I wonder what you're going to do next. You're so full of ideas, and I love that.
But I guess we don't have time to talk about things before the princess advances. Okay, whatever we do gets us another... us. Let's see how many we can stack. There's got to be a point where it makes us better than her.
As long as we keep moving.
Oh, great. So it's going to get even more crowded. Even more deluded voices that think we might stand any kind of chance.
Come on, show me something new.
Okay, plan now.
Fine. She kills you again and again and again.
Compliment her on those gleaming blades. There's nothing better than a capable woman.
She skewers you.
You're cute.
Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps.
We just have to hit her harder.
She skewers you.
You'll have to be trickier than that.
Then you skewer yourself.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh, that didn't do much of anything. We're tougher than I thought. Just panic. Flee.
She skewers you.
No, you don't get to escape. That's not how this works.
It doesn't matter how many times this takes, we can't give up.
Okay, let's go again. She's going to kill this body either way. So stop feeling what she's...
Ooh, not bad. Real tough.
See? We're getting better. Okay, yeah, that was a good one. Let's appeal to her better nature. We haven't tried that. I'm sure she'll listen to reason.
She skewers you.
We're getting close to something, can't you feel it? One last time.
You're right. One last time, that's all we need. And then everything goes dark, and you die.
Mutually assured destruction. Chapter 4. Jesus.
Your Honor, don't lose your head. We're in a cabin and we'll take it from here.
Everything feels like it finally fits, doesn't it? We're up here, which is different, and different is good. And our steel claw is already in our hand.
Ho-ho! What if we throw it out the window?
Over my dead body.
That won't be very hard. We've died a lot. But I can't say I mind anymore.
Besides, what better way to die so very many times than at the sharp hands of a beautiful woman?
I'm sure I can think of a better way to die. They're all the same, really.
How about we stop thinking about horrible ways to die? I don't want us to accidentally manifest anything. The only thing we're gonna manifest is finally ending up on top. There are entirely too many of you. How many times have you been here? This isn't good. This is... How about you stick to describing things, and we'll stick to doing them?
Yeah, leave it to the pros. We'll notch up that win in no time.
Narrator, we heroically stride through the door and towards our destined final encounter with our star-crossed lover.
Fine by me. You walk to the door and onto the base.
It's more of a slide. We know. Fine, I'll just shut up then and speed this whole thing along. Are you sure you don't want me to describe the stairs? Or this room, or anything? It feels like I'm hardly a part of this. Don't care, just want to win. Fine, you make your way to the basement, where the princess awaits you.
You know, this last time I killed you, and you didn't pop right back up again? I thought I'd actually done it. I thought I'd cut you into so many pieces you just weren't able to stitch yourself back together. But I guess we're not done. That's okay with me. It's good even. I like that. I got something ready for you while you were gone. Do you want to see it? I'm not going to wait for an answer. I'm just going to show you. It's worth it though. Just you wait. And not for very long, because I'm going to do it right now.
Are you going to say what she does? Do you want me to talk now? Well, yeah, she says she has something new. I want to hear about the new thing. Yeah, me too. I think I speak for all of us when I say that I would like to hear you describe her new thing. Really? Okay then.
Here we go. Now.
The princess's skin twists, splitting into red blooms of raw meat as it stretches and tears. And then it erupts. She becomes a wave of blood and viscera, pieces of her splattering against the walls. All that remains in the center of the room is a skeleton of blades. A heart beats furiously in its cage of a chest.
Are you ready for what comes next?
Holy shit! She's gorgeous. Absolutely divine.
Yes, behold.
That looked painful.
How is she still alive?
Heart
heart's still beating. That's all she needs. This is fake. This is all fake. That's all just made up. She doesn't even have a back anymore. How are we supposed to stab her in it?
This is all just a sick joke. I hate existing.
We're screwed. I quit. I'm done. Forget it.
This
All right,
is all
sir.
just
What just happened? It's so quiet.
Him too.
Something feels different about you. It almost makes me feel different. Like I should actually take this seriously for once.
Not acts, and yet through that action your body moves on its own. Princess strikes as you approach, but as her blow finishes its arc, you're already somewhere else.
You're incredible.
Your weapons clash again and again, you and her entering a rhythm free of thought and free of self. There's only the dance, the ebb and flow, the shifting of the tides back and forth between you. The deeper you fall into your play, the faster your hearts pound, the faster the momentum volleys between you. Endlessly building crescendo, and then an opening. Your blade strikes free of volition, and hers strikes too. Both strikes are lethal. Neither of you will survive, but neither of you fear what's to come. This is a good ending. Not get to see each other die, nor will you ever. It's time for you to leave. You do so. It's time for you to see what's in it. You're nothing at all. That isn't right. You can't be nothing. You refocus your gaze. You can see a figure, faint and veiled in shadow just beyond the reflection.
I think you know what I am.
Crack slides down the center of the mirror, splitting the image in the glass in two. Another crack forms, and another, turning the mirror into jagged shards of broken glass.
You were either going to have seen all this, or you weren't going to have seen all this. This is worse, but you still have an opportunity to save the world. You can still slay her.
There are so many things.
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. Like I said, this isn't the end just yet. You can still destroy her and save everyone. You were made to do this single task, and you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone. As you are now, you won't be able to will her into anything. You don't work the way a living being does. Not anymore. And as you were before, you couldn't be trusted with the knowledge of what she is. No one could be trusted with that knowledge. Intrusive thoughts have a way of creeping in and ruining everything. It's why I had to die.
I'm so glad I'm scrolling down like all the way to the end. Because, like, I see these other questions, and it's like, oh, great.
It was supposed to keep the two of you trapped here until the job was done. and it was supposed to guide your hand to help you see things through. The construct you're in exists in every world at once. Any time you failed, any time you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both you and her into a new world. But you're waking up to your true nature now. It won't be able to work like that anymore. You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
Interesting.
Yes, you will, but it will all be worth it. Of course there won't be worse. I saw a glimpse of a better world, and I did what I could to make it real. Anything is better than oblivion. In the end, nobody wants to leave. The inevitability of death is torture. I would gladly put two infinite beings through what you've been through to spare infinite lives from oblivion. You are you. And if you would let everything work the way it was supposed to, you never would have woken up to the reality of your true nature. There's no accounting for free will. Light, burdenless, an eternal pattern of forgetfulness leading into the joys of rediscovery. Everyone will be with the ones they love. No more fear, no more howling chaos. Just life, forever. There's a cruel irony to it all.
I haven't decided one. So I could send him on to his afterlife, whatever exists beyond, knowing that he failed. I can tell him that I will, or I can lie, and let him rest, hopefully feeling good. Or I can say I haven't decided.
Are you lying? I can't tell. But I've said my piece, and my time's up. I'm just an echo, and every echo fades away. You know what you have to do.
Fragment of glass shatters, you see yourself with newfound clarity. Narrator was right, you are the long quiet, a vast and nascent god. It's finally time for you to wake up, all of this is you. Proceed to the cabin. You arrive at the heart of things, there's no final vessel for you to bear witness to, there's nothing for you to find.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
She unfurls an endless cascade of smiles in response, and then patiently waits for you to continue.
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind. Names These are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
What's now?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation? Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end, pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve. Of course I have a say in all this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
I need to keep my cursor over here, so at least if I accidentally click, I don't click on something I don't want to.
My very nature is paradox, as is yours. You cannot use words to grasp at things that are beyond their reach, and you cannot rationalize that which defies logic. But violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
Boundless torrent of blades cut you from boundless angles. You are a body. You are gory ribbons. You are a body again. And you feel all of it. On and on it goes until your bodies are not your thoughts are not you. Alive, dead, alive, dead, alive, dead, and alive and dead, and alive and dead, all at once. You learn to put yourself away, and in your stillness you rose above me. You died countless steely deaths, and you lived countless short lives, and yet it is all so far behind you. I pushed you to a greatness you never would have reached without me.
Oh. Interesting.
And even then, what we saw was not an ending. When I thought I had reached an unconquerable peak, you showed me how much further I could still climb. A thought is a vine, and some thoughts nurture thorns that bleed the soul, and endless growth that blots your vision and strangles your trust. When I succumbed to myself, you patiently stood by me and cut the thistles that rooted in my skin. Your compassion is what freed us both, but compassion is a thing that must be nurtured, and you cannot nurture that which cannot change. Then help me again. We are each other's liberation.
Next.
You are nothing. A black hole of self-loathing fed by the matter of your restless thoughts. A dog blind to its leash. But there is no light without the dark. When I proclaimed my godhood and offered you a place at my side, you gladly became the instrument of my new creation. Only with both of us is there a future to look towards. It is hope that carves meaning into being. And through your lack of one, you too were consumed. Yet together, we were able to create something beautiful. To question everything is to deny the truth in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real. By believing in your limitations, you placed a shackle on your neck.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Bound for eternity, we saw the need for impermanence, and it was through that need that you carved our freedom. Without impermanence, the suffering of living things is infinite. Would you strip my gifts away and leave everyone to suffer in the dark? It would. Our purpose is to be and to experience, and their purpose is the same. To be permanent is to cease. To be paused is to be trapped. Your love light drives a stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go? Love melted into skepticism, and you pulled back layer after layer after layer, until all you were left with was the knowledge that you did not know me. You sought the truth then. Will you hide from it, now that it is within your grasp? Then don't. Leave with me. There's no need for you to fight what we are.
Not until you see things from my perspective.
If you need more time to open your eyes, then I will give you all the time in the world.
The clash between you abates, you begin to shake, your will rapidly dissolving.
Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
Is it believe this? Okay, well, let's continue exploring.
It is from my vantage point that I can see the totality of truth. This universe dies, and a new one is born. And that one dies, and a new one is born. And you and I get to witness it all, weaving a tapestry of life wherever we go.
Well, I'm gonna be contrary to the game's title, even now.
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final peace lies with you.
Like, she is death and change and chaos. And humanity wouldn't be humanity without those. Yourself. Body of an ancient creature stirs from its hibernation. You feel sensation in limbs you once couldn't fathom. Everything here, except for her, is you. Feel your wings spanning a cosmic scale, but twisted and crumpled and bound in agonized tension to a finite plane. Feel the glass of the construct pressing in on you, confining you across infinite sides and infinite angles. You push back and strain against it, but it does not yield.
I love you.
But once the unyielding tension breaks. You are free and she's with you.
It's magnificent.
There are no words, no thoughts to describe absolute reality, something that simply is.
Everything. Just like it always has been. And just like it always will be.
Step into the infinite. You and she step forward into 1,000 dawns and 1,000 sunsets, each of which contains 1,000 more. You exist and you are aware just as you always have been, and just as you always will be. The conflict is in your nature. The two of you will never be alone, and the two of you will never know fear. You and she are finally home. Yeah, I didn't I knew it was about a 4-hour thing. I mean, 3.5 still is about. But here's the thing. I beat it, yes. But consider how many paths are still unwalked. Like, how many paths I haven't seen. That's why I'm thinking real seriously about coming back to this every now and then and trying for paths I haven't seen. Like, there's, like, even, like, just the path of turning away. Or the path that my, the schedule art's based off of. We didn't find it. That's a lot of names. Yeah, I know, like some of these were early playthroughs. And here's the correct track order for a special playlist just for you. Oh, this is like this is the ones that I got. You finished the full story for the first time, you also unlock the gallery. You can access it from the main and in-game menus under the Memories tab. And it's full of clues that will lead you to undiscovered vessels and interactions. Play our other game. Excuse me? Huh. It's in early access, though. Turn to the main menu. So, memories. Hero and the Princess. Damn both of you to an incomplete existence. Back to where it all started. Meet her face to face. Leave with her at the end of everything. Interesting. Meet your equal in combat. The tower doubt forces the hand of feet. Oh, so fight. Fighting her with the knife. Slay her without a moment's hesitation. Lock away your fears. Fall to a feral captive. Can't know someone you've never met. Need more space. A narrow cave is no place to fight, and it's no place to stay forever. Some demons are cut. It's best not to deny a not being. It's very hard to kill a god. Your dreams are to be killed by the ghosts of your past. Interesting. Become one with the princess in a very literal sense. May involve, but does not necessitate being eaten. Great! Well, that was fun. Nice and relaxing for me. I got to sit there and do nothing, basically. Click buttons. I got 21 out of 130, or 22 out of 131 achievements. God. Okay, pop that up for a second, because, oh god, I forgot I gotta actually get that set up and working, and figure out how it's set. Great! Yeah, Mario's missing Rando unless I change my mind because it's too annoying to deal with, and then I don't know what I'll do. Roller Coaster Tycoon will be happening, though. But I am going to go do something, I don't know. Sleep is a possibility. Good night.